I think we're live.
Hello, darlings. Did you miss us? We certainly missed you. We couldn't help ourselves. We thought we'd better do a live stream. Did you just watch the video that was just premiering a few minutes ago? I don't know about those purple characters. They're a bit silly, aren't they? Purple Ted.
It seems like Joseph wants purple live stream.
We could do that, but let's not. That was a bit of a once-er, to be fair. Just because we were so sick of all that objective reality and stuff, and actual science and things. How are we all going with the cut your legs off diet, by the way? Has everybody cut their legs off yet? Have you cut your legs off?
Yes.
Good. How much weight did you lose?
Probably 30%.
30%, and there was absolutely no consequences of any kind, were there? Because we don't really care about those. We're not interested in that. It's all about the weight. Well, actually, this stream's all about the sugar, isn't it? This is the Sugar Stream Diet, brought to you by the fine folks at Fuck Off. Right. Hey, you know the drill. Put a Q, a colon, a question, and a question mark. Don't use abbreviations. Use your words. And we'll answer the questions as best as we can, won't we, Floppy? Will you help? Will ya? Ooh. Right. Anyway, so that's basically the vibe of the show. So should we kick off? What's happening? What have you been doing?
I don't know.
Milking and ducks and carry on this morning?
Killing some chickens?
Killing some chickens, yes.
Poor chickens.
Poor chickens. Still?
Yes, still.
That's how it
we both look cold, yes.
It is a bit cold in the independent sovereign nation of Pimbatia.
So I have one of these. It's really nice and soft. On the inside, anyway.
Yes, right.
Right, there is a question here.
We like questions. Questions are good.
I'm getting stared at and snoozing noises because she's not up on my lap. How are you all doing? Have you regained your well-being, Bart?
Look, absolutely. Look, it turns out I was just deficient in purple because I hadn't been eating enough of the rainbow, you see. So I needed to eat more purple. And Purple Ted agreed, absolutely, of course. And he was fully on board with that. We had a bit of a rest of a day or two, which was good. Reformulated our offerings a bit, as you've noticed. And tickety-boo, pretty much.
All right.
Yes.
Isn't sugar diet just most people's diet?
Yes. That's why we're doing it. But it was absolutely invented by Mark Smallybell, though.
But
there was no such thing as sugar before that.
On the sugar diet, you're not supposed to eat fat and protein, right?
But again, it depends on who you listen to.
Okay.
Because everyone's very sensible on interwebs, and everyone says exactly the different things. And it's variety that's the spice of life. Maybe that's what we should be doing, eating variety as well as the rainbow, so long as it's all sugar. That's what it is. So what do? You just eat fucking sugar.
So you could just eat jelly beans because they have colors and sugar.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
But stay away from the protein that's in them, the gelatin.
Maybe we can get vegan jelly beans.
Unless it's nighttime, in which case, apparently, according to Smelly Bell End, you can have protein at nighttime. Because the Randall cycle's not a thing. And
can you do OMAD on the sugar diet? Can you just eat jelly beans in the evening?
That'd be an interesting challenge to see if these sugar loony junkies could actually eat sugar just once a day. I wonder. I doubt it.
Okay.
I think it's about mainlining it, really. You should just set up a bag and just have it dripping slowly all day. But you also have to be completely incomprehensible and inane beyond belief to do well at the sugar diet, I think. And the other thing that's very important is you when you're saying things, absolutely don't keep your head stable. Sorry, that's my worst black woman impersonation ever, but there you go. I did a good impersonation of a purple person.
Were you done?
I'm never done. I'm just waiting for you to find some questions.
Well, I had one, but you continued talking again.
That's what happens when you keep the vibe of the show rolling. Yeah, I'm waiting because...
Right, shut up then.
All right, good.
Master Chief Burgers needs some advice. I want to cut my legs off, but do I do it above or below the knee?
Well, it depends on how much weight you want to lose. And of course, the thing is, Dave, once you have cut your legs off, a lot of people are now getting back to me and saying it's not working. There's a plateau after that. That's okay. You can still cut your arms off too. That's the beauty of the diet. It's flexible.
Can you direct me to any information that supports carnivore with menopause and hormones? So many doctors say you need fiber to get rid of bad estrogen.
Yes, I'm the science. Trust me, I'm safe and effective. No, seriously, what you need to do is have a consult with me and we'll sort through any issues of that kind as best as we possibly can. And anything that's above my station or out with my particular area of expertise, I can signpost you to people, colleagues of mine who absolutely are expert in that area, do work in that area. So that's what you do. You book yourself in for a consult.
Right.
In terms of doctors, though, for most conditions, most of the time, under most circumstances, I'd stay the hell away from doctors, frankly.
So it seems like most people that are actually asking questions have missed the information about the big capital Q in front of your question, please.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing, though, because I think what that probably suggests is that we've got an influx of new folks, which is great. We haven't had new folks for ages, and it's probably because we've been doing it all wrong and not eating enough sugar. And now that we are eating sugar all the time, nothing but fucking sugar.
So you want it to look like this?
Yes, bring it up.
I'm trying to. No. Right. What the hell is happening?
Yeah. There we go.
There. Yeah. Q, colon, then question.
Yep. Good.
But that was a jump down, so we're not quite there yet. Let's go with this one.
All right, good.
But have you seen Robert Siway's new video saying carnivores are at risk of heart disease?
I have not seen that, but what I have seen is a number of Robert Siway's videos, and I wouldn't bother listening to Robert Siway's, frankly.
Goodo.
Yeah.
I want to purchase a grounding mat for my bed. Are there any specifications I should be looking for to help me make a good choice?
It's really difficult to know whether you've got a good grounding bed sheet until you get it. And the only way to really know is to test yourself once you've been on it for a few minutes against ground using a digital multimeter or something like that. I mean, the specification of a grounding mat is that it needs to actually physically make a connection to the earth. And you need to be able to derive the benefit of that. Yes. Hello, Stephen. Good to see you, mate.
All right. Do weighted stretches help create more sarcomeres? How and when is it best to perform stretching?
Yes, there is an argument out there that says that if you chronically extend the length of any particular muscle fiber, it will add sarcomeres in order to be part of the response to the stimulus of the flexibility or range of motion training that you're doing. The assumption of your question, Daniel, is that that's a good idea. Well, it would be a good idea if you had suboptimal range of motion. When I say range of motion, what I'm really referring to there is range of motion under control, not just how far can you distend your muscle before it tears. Okay? So you're making an assumption that it's a good idea to do it. I'm not saying that it is. It may or may not be in your case. You should probably consult with me. Or if you don't trust me, perhaps you could get a consult with Purple Ted. Good.
Can you explain the science behind why they state this works? People are dropping weight, but at what cost?
Do you mean the sugar diet?
Probably.
Yes. Okay. So the arguments are along the lines of that if you eat a bunch of sugar and nothing else, there is the release of an enzyme, a specific enzyme called the FGF21 or something like that, which is involved in regulating the rate at which you are oxidizing fat, and it's basically getting everything running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And this particular enzyme apparently is downregulated by the intake of protein. And obviously, if you intake a bunch of fat, that downregulates the use of glucose according to the cycle of Sir Philip Randall. So what they're saying is just eat fucking sugar and you'll just lose the weight. Never mind the consequences of doing nothing but eating sugar, even for a short period of time. Don't worry about it. But you'll lose a truckload of weight very quickly. To which, of course, as I've said repeatedly, well, look, why stuff around with all this dietary intervention and waiting for the weight to come off, even if it does come off quickly? We can get it off immediately if we're not worried about consequences. Let's just cut our legs off. Makes all the sense, doesn't it?
So you definitely got new people.
Yes, it's good.
Several trolls that I'm banning right now.
Oh, excellent. We love it when we have to ban trolls. It's great. Do, though, come on my channel and give us your mindless, vacuous, cock-splat opinions, everybody that's new here that doesn't like what I'm saying for some reason. Because absolutely, we've never heard your ridiculous nonsense before. It'll be absolutely unique. We've never heard anything from like it, and we'll be shocked. And, of course, I'll change my opinions on everything immediately just because you don't like what I said the first time. That's exactly what will happen. Good.
If you only had your comment removed, think about what you're saying or you might get banned next time.
Well, I'd go straight for the ban hammer.
Yeah, personally. I know you do. I didn't.
Oh, well. That's because you're soft and feminine and lovely and nice, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Right. If dietary cholesterol doesn't affect your serum cholesterol, why did my LDL shot up after a few months of carnivore? Not concerned, just curious on the mechanism.
Okay, well, who said that it doesn't? I didn't. I never said that. It does. Just not as much as people suggest that it does for the average bear or human. LDL shoots up if there is a lot of cholesterol to be transported, because that's what LDL does. It transports cholesterol and other lipids around in the blood. So, I mean, the amount of cholesterol that you'll be synthesizing will be to order. Your genes have got this under control. They know what they're doing, frankly.
Oh, and another thing, please just ask the question once.
Yes,
they are queued. I'm queuing them all, so we read them in the order they come in. Something about dry fasting here, same question twice. Okay, so there it is. New people, put a Q, a capital Q, and a colon, like on the screen right now. Write your question out in full. Don't use abbreviations, and put a question mark at the end of it so that we can see that it's a question, and Ted can bring it up on the screen for us. And ask your question once, and have some patience, for goodness sake. There it is. Good. Welcome to the show, you new people. It's great to have you here. Abbreviations.
Yes.
Janet completed her final chemotherapy last week, so she's now in maintenance. Lost 75+ pounds so far.
Okay, that's awesome. Keep us appraised, Dave.
Yes.
Let us know what's going on and such. Much love to Janet.
And keep it up.
Yep.
Are farm-raised Sour Patch Kids better for you than free-range?
Who knows? Patch Kids.
So you knew.
I am the science. Trust me, I'm safe and effective. Absolutely. But if you want to know all about Sour Patch Kids, you'd ask Malnutrition by Victoria, who's made a video this week suggesting that an absolutely perfect diet consisting of almost nothing but sugar is not really doing well for her in some way. Can't imagine. It's incredible. It's almost like that's a diet that's deficient in many nutrients and common sense stuff.
Right. Red muscle meat low in B1 and B9. My doctor message blood work showed I am deficient in folate. She leafy greens. How do I solve this optimal carnivore way?
Number one, you stop getting bloods because they will not provide you with any information of utility. When you say you're deficient in folate, according to whom? On the basis of what? How do you feel is the most important thing. What is your affect? Bloods. Goodness. When you get a blood result and it says you're high, low, or whatever, all that means is, well, with respect to the general population, plus or minus 1 or 2 standard deviations. Well, so what? You might be an outlier. If you feel fine, it's unlikely there's a problem.
Okay.
And muscle meat is not low in B1 and B9 for the needs of a person who eats muscle meat. And nothing else, by the way. That's nonsense.
Either way. How was dry fasting all in all? And in situation, would you recommend it? And for how long max?
I always struggle with it because I'm ill-prepared because I didn't do it right. I did it wrong, said Auntie Pim, and I never really was dry fasting properly. And I caused myself...
not say that.
And I caused myself a bunch of problems by not preparing myself properly.
I did say that.
You're here to help, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm adding comments.
Yeah, good. And I did 40 hours this time, and I felt like that was enough, and pulled out at that stage for reasons I discussed at the time on the video. Would I recommend it? Well, yes and no. Depends on your situation, your AFIB, what's going on, and what you're trying to achieve. It's a tool that's in the toolbox. It's just a tool in the toolbox. And let me mention to you that it's just a tool, and that it's a tool. It's a tool that comes out at the right time for the right purpose. And you need to be a technician like myself to know when the tool should come out and be used and in what way. And for that, you should probably consult with me. Get in now, because there's not a lot of space left in my calendar these days. I'm pretty busy. Yeah.
A tool.
A tool.
I recommend it.
Good.
Just so you know.
Under all circumstances for all people?
No.
Right.
But I think most people probably benefit from it.
But could you tell us whether it's a tool?
Nope.
You couldn't tell us, or it's not a tool?
No, but please invite Stephanie Pearson to a debate.
She won't do it. I've done collaborative videos in the past in years gone by with Stephanie on 3 or 4 occasions before she lost her fucking shit, before she lost her mind completely. And that was fine and good. And if you want to watch a collaborative video between myself and Stephanie when she was saying sensible things and not being an asinine asshat, you can do that. They're available either here on the YouTubes or on that other platform that most of my material's on these days, which you might have to take an odyssey of discovery to find where those are.
So, what plot has she lost now? Is there anything new?
No, it's nothing new. She's just completely lost the fucking plot.
Okay.
To be honest, every time she opens her mouth and says a sentence, it's garbled. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's just a string of words that doesn't seem to have any meaning. It's repetition of the same thing again and again and again and again, like most of these asshats are doing. It seems like there's no plan whatsoever as to what words are going to come out of her mouth next. In fact, I think it's just a lottery. She just opens her mouth and lets words pour out and is surprised by which words they are sometimes.
It sounds like someone else I know.
Goodness, it's incredible. I really think that she's coming online stoned often. I'm not joking. I think she does. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Doesn't have to be anybody else's. I'd still fuck her though.
Right. So,
yep.
I don't understand this question. Is anybody else getting shivers?
About what?
Exactly. So if that is a genuine question, ask it in the context of what the fuck you're talking about.
Yes, do give us enough information on your question so that we can answer it sensibly. Or indeed, if we're just here for the comedy, that's great. But make sure you don't disagree with us, because as you've already noticed here on the channel, if you disagree with us, that's hate speech and you'll be silenced. We don't tolerate hate speech here in Pimbatia.
No, wasn't even hate speech. Well, some hate speech, I suppose.
Are you disagreeing with me?
Next question. How do I calculate lean body mass?
As an ideal lean body mass, there are several ways. One I find to be relatively accurate-ish, assuming a couple of things. Assuming, number one, that you are of European stock and not either of African or Asian stock. And assuming that you have normal musculature, not over or under. Then you would go your height in meters. So in my case, I'm 5'6", which is 1.68 meters. And you multiply that by itself, and then you multiply the result of that by 22.5. And that gives you the ideal weight, mass, if you like, in kilograms, which if you want pounds, you multiply by 2.2. Okay? How's that? Looks like there are many, many questions today. It's good.
Okay. Would you all do a detailed video on prep and conducting a dry fast?
Yes, we'd consider doing that. Would you watch it?
There are already videos on that.
Of course there are.
Good videos. So
here's the thing with sensible videos. I'm sorry to interrupt. Sensible videos just about the science, no humor of any kind, no calling anyone a cunt, and no being sarcastic at all. You cunts don't watch it. You're not interested. You're just here for the laughs. So fuck you all. Fuck you all. Right, what's next?
I'm deaf.
Oh, well. You can join the fluffy deaf party. Sorry, Pim's ears. What's next? If you want to see
science... Did you say something?
Get fucked. If you want to see science videos from myself, watch the bastards. That's the thing that determines what I do next, is what you cunts will watch. All right?
How long before you retry the dry fasting again, and what are you going to change in your approach?
Soon, I think, Dave. I'm not sure exactly when, and what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to do it properly this time. i.e. have a proper clean out, possibly even a bit of a salt flush. We'll see how we go on that. And what was the other thing you said I should do?
I don't recall.
Well, that's the thing about when Pim says things to me. She's always saying things to me. Like, I never listen to her and some other shit she says. Frankly, I know it's an old joke, but my timing was impeccable.
My wife is new to carnivore, 1 month. She wants to do OMAD. Is that a good idea at early stage?
It depends on whether or not she's fully adapted to the fat burning thing yet, which I would suggest probably after 1 month, might be a bit soon. We'll see. Give it a go. See how she feels.
Is keto carnivore diet okay for type 1 diabetic?
Absolutely, yes.
Are you sure there's no benefit of consuming fiber? Why do I feel better eating moderate amounts of fiber?
Yes, I am. And, well, that's your thing. That's for you. You see how that's not really his real name? Because that's just like Ben Shapiro's name put the wrong way around. Very good. Yeah.
Not a question, but every time, Professor Bart K, every time you talk and form a paragraph, I realize I am a puppy with human biology and you are a hellhound. You are the best and I respect you.
Excellent. Thank you, Garuda Legends.
Yes, you're a hellhound. Are some people naturally immune or resistant to carb addiction?
Some people are naturally resistant to all sorts of things, including addictions of all kinds. Yes.
For a OMAD, what is the optimal time break in between those 2 meals? I usually eat 4 hours apart.
You do you.
Indeed.
There's no such thing as an optimal break between 2 meals because there's no such thing as an optimal OMAD diet. OMAD is optimal. How's that? These people making up their own fucking rules as they go along just to suit themselves. It's incredible.
So steak and cake diet would really rock then?
Sure, it'd be lovely.
I wouldn't have any cravings at all.
No, steak and cake.
Jesus Christ, my blood sugar would be all over the place.
Hello, Jean, we love you.
What do you think of routine for venous insufficiency?
Oh, I've got no idea. Don't even know what that is, Jean. Never heard of it.
You know?
No. Routine?
Maybe you should look it up then.
In New Zealand, of course, having sex is sometimes referred to as rooting.
But not spelled like that.
No. So that's why it confused me. Rooting can be good for venous insufficiency.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Some people report that the carnivore diet eliminated the AFIB. Any idea how that happens? Nope.
Other than, I mean, I could speculate all day, but what's the point?
So London Viking says, what's reading Dunning's book today?
Excellent.
Will you get August Dunning on your show, please?
Somebody contact August and suggest it to him.
Well, he has a YouTube channel.
Does he?
Probably has contact details there.
Okay, I don't have time to fuck around finding people. You guys sort it out in the background. Motorcyclists up on the road on their Sunday ride.
Oh, Natasha said she was going to come by at some point, so I was wondering if... But she does not drive a motorcycle. So,
right.
When glucose spikes from HIIT exercise, is the insulin spike the same as when food induced if both glucose spikes are equal?
It's a rich tapestry. There are many variables that come into play on any given insulin spike at any given time. Exercise and input of carbohydrates are 2 of those, and there are thousands of others. What's next?
I would rather listen to Cyrus farting as a mic than listen to Stephanie Piss.
Yeah, it would probably make more sense. It would be more comprehensible, but only slightly. How do you fart? A South African accent, I wonder. Perhaps we'd be fought. Be fought. Bot, get in the car, bot. And don't fart in the car. Or else I'll cack in your billies.
So, shall we do the next one? My dad, 71, went to the doctor for high blood pressure. The doctor put him on statins for high LDL and prescribed blood pressure meds. Told him to not take the statins, go low carb, be enough to drop meds.
Possibly. If he adheres to that well enough for long enough, yes. Almost certainly.
All right. Is there a way to calculate how much protein to have in a meal to get an insulin response?
2 grams per kilo of ideal lean body mass, plus or minus 10%.
Is that how you calculate how to get insulin response?
That's why I set it at that level, because that's a sufficient level to maintain one's body structures and replace proteins that are turning over and being excreted.
Just because I'm not reading it.
Steak and cake and steak. That's what you should have for breakfast. Delicious. Oh, Ted.
He's yellow again.
He's changed colour.
Strange.
Goodness.
I do feel better doing carnivore diet, but I feel bad eating all those animals. Can I get the same effect by only eating Beyond Meat and just eggs?
No, you can't. Absolutely not. No. Sorry about that. We killed some chickens the other day to feed us and some guinea fowl. They would be horrified, wouldn't they, if they found out we could have not done that? So would I. I would rather not kill animals, frankly, myself. I didn't kill them myself, frankly. I helped in the plucking a bit. Somewhat.
Eventually.
But, you know, would I prefer it if we could get everything we need nutritionally without animals dying for that? Yes, I'd prefer that. But that's not the world we live in. Sorry. What's next?
Super chat.
Yeah, we like super chats.
Thank you, Master Chief.
Indeed. Thank you, Dave.
Love you guys to bits, and there's nothing you can do about it. Stress of the last 4 months, I've gained about 5 pounds. Now to get rid of
Or just cut your legs off, Dave.
5 pounds, yeah, you can definitely go under the knee.
You could get better. You could just take a shin. That'll do it.
Maybe one.
Yeah.
Would be enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Or you could just eat fucking sugar.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this one then.
Yep.
I am a black man, age 39, 6 feet tall, and can light my own body weight without going to the gym. Shall I be okay?
Lift, I would suggest that it's supposed to be. Possibly.
I thought it was one of these that can
possibly. I mean, again, there are many, many degrees of freedom that play into one's outcomes, and whether you can lift your own body weight without going to the gym is one of them. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of others. And you're not a black man. You're a small, fluffy pussycat, apparently.
What's up, chats?
Is it true what they say about black men? Sorry, what?
Super chat.
Yes, good.
Around 2009, there was a commercial claiming high fructose corn syrup was harmless and natural. The difference is that back then, people seemed quicker to call bullshit.
Well, yes, we've all been trained in recent years to accept it when people say, I'm the science, trust me, don't question the science. Safe and effective I am. And if you do question the science, it's because you're a bad person and you need to be excluded from society.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Will you get August? Blah. It wasn't a question before, so. Oh, a Q question. Are you allowed to shower or take a bath during dry fasting? Just joking. Love you too.
Well, that may well be a joke for you, but in fact, there are 2 forms of dry fasting. One is called soft, where you are allowed to do that. And one is called hard dry fasting, where you're not. You don't shower or bathe or even brush your teeth. I think that's a bit loony myself.
Loony woony.
Loony, yes. But not as loony as cutting your legs off or just eating sugar.
Is too much protein something we need to be concerned with? And if so, does fat blunt the effect?
Well, too much of anything can be a problem, including things like water, oxygen, and love.
Love.
I think. I don't know. Tell me. Anyone that has too much love in your life, let me know if there's such a thing as too much love. There was a song about
it and sell it on Amazon.
We should sell it on Amazon. Yes. Come and buy some of our love. That'd be awesome.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes. And does fat blunt the effect of too much protein? No. Why would it?
I don't know. What's your thoughts on Frank Tufano claiming carnivore diet destroyed his liver because it caused iron overload?
Well, that's the thing about people who have absolutely no training whatsoever in human physiology, biology, nutrition, or anything else, who happens to be a failed actor, a failed master chef participant, and also, it seems these days, a failed gay porn actor. Their opinions are all very valid on all things, aren't they? Of course they are. Including his opinion that I am actually an undercover CIA operative and that I don't exist. But then that's an opinion that he shares with quite a few others who similarly ignore my existence and pretend I don't exist, mostly because the fact or the suggestion of fronting up to me for a discussion of a sensible nature scares them. My leg. And they poo their pants. Don't they, Fluffy? Would you like to debate me? Would you?
She can't hear you, so.
Oh. Yes. Oh, du war ein so taster Hund.
I killed my leg.
Oh, well, just cut it off. Then you'll lose some weight. It'd be awesome.
There she is.
Yeah, righto.
Righto.
Yeah.
Oh.
So did you tell her that you're going to be busy doing a live stream?
No, I didn't have time.
Oh. Well, she's going to be sat there by herself then, isn't she?
I think she was going to steal some cardboard.
Okay.
I'm sure she can do that without us, but...
I'm sure.
Or I can... Whatever.
Yeah, good.
Where are we?
Welcome to Amateur Hour.
Is a CAC score the only way to know if you're at risk of a cardiovascular event?
Not only is it not the only way, there are many ways that people can suggest you might be. There is no way at all, because there are no studies whatsoever that can inform us on risk. I mean, whose risk are you talking about, Matthew? My risk? Her risk? Fluffy's? Purple Ted's? His risk of a heart attack is 0. Mind. Because he's heartless. This Purple Ted. Completely heartless. He also has no cock.
Yes. Why do people on carnivore diet look red? Is it healthy?
They don't, hater. That's nonsense. Who told you that?
I don't know. Maybe they have the wrong camera settings.
Maybe they do. Maybe they've gone bright purple.
My naturopath told me my elevated, is it HDL or whatever, 5 levels indicates I am relying a lot on glycolysis. What do you think of this? I have chronic health issues. They're getting worse even after 5 years Lion diet.
Yeah, LDH would be lactase dehydrogenase.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That sounds like you need to have a consult with me to get a second opinion. Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
We have a super chat.
Super chats are great.
Please love me to death. I will even give you monies.
All right.
We shall love you to death.
To death, yes.
But how are you going to give us money if you die? You have to write the will first, then we will love you to death.
That's it. Indeed.
I have lost...
The plot, yes, we know.
No. What?
That's because you're not eating enough sugar and cutting your legs off.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe we ran out of questions. That's why I can't find questions.
Goodness, that was quick.
No. If lab tests like LDL, ApoB, and EKGs are not good markers, what your heart shape is, so what test is?
Okay.
Treadmill EKG.
Okay. EKG is not strictly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about lab tests. I'm talking about getting the value of various things out of your blood and suggesting that we can make prognostic indications on that basis. An EKG can absolutely be used as a prognostic test of heart function. That's a different thing. So there you go. I guess there's the answer to your question.
Vegan Deterioration just did a video at Victoria's video about problems she's having eating all that sugar. A new video on Victoria, maybe?
Would you watch it? Victoria's very sensible. She's a very, very sensible young lady.
Right, let's see. I haven't pre-read this. If Bill Gates gets his way and we all have to eat bugs, would that be a sufficient replacement for meat?
Absolutely not. No. And Gates is not going to get his way.
Regarding stuff that's added to rotisserie meats, e.g. sugar and starches, etc., to what extent is it deleterious to consume these meat? Might as well eat carbs, or...
Well, you are eating carbs if you're eating carbs. Do you see how that works? Even if carbs are added to your meat, that doesn't mean you're less eating carbs. You're still eating carbs, and you shouldn't do that, ideally. However, if you go and have a dirty rotisserie now and then, that's not the end of the world.
I might have a gram of carbs on it, seriously. It's not the same as eating a fucking loaf of baguette.
Right, or it's also not the same as just doing the sugar diet.
Exactly.
Makes all the sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Boo.
Or not.
Yes.
What's your take on Jonas stuff like we should welcome parasites from meat because they are all symbiotic?
Look, I always take advice about science, nutrition, etc. from actors. Absolutely. Jonas was an actor. He's also dead, so...
We have run out of questions now.
Have we?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
The shortest live stream in creation.
In the world.
In the world. In the world. So if you have any questions for us, best you ask them, because otherwise we'll be done. And that'll be awesome.
Oh, actually, I missed one. Opinion on Jack Kruse, apparently.
Jack Kruse, 50% of everything or more that comes out of Jack Kruse's mouth is demonstrably, absolutely, unequivocally false. Jack Kruse, in my opinion, has a very serious ego problem. He's not the only one in the world. There are many people with serious ego problems in the world. Jack's one of them.
In that case, we got 2 more.
Excellent.
How do gout patients go from having gout flares initially on keto carnivore, then resolving symptoms later?
What do you mean, how do they? What's your question? Red pilled? All sorts of different things.
Maybe how they resolve it? I don't know.
All sorts of different things happen for all sorts of different people at all sorts of different times, according to all sorts of different degrees of freedom that lead into those outcomes.
Okay. Whatever. How do you approach a 3+ day dry fast as fast from a carnivore diet? Do you pre-hydrate with electrolyte drinks, coconut water, flush the colon, etc.?
Apparently the flushing thing is part of it, and possibly a few other bits and bobs.
Some people say it's better to do all of that and blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I found that I just spend 24, maybe 36 hours eating very low digestible, well, easily digestible foods like eggs that almost digest 100%. Maybe bone broth, kefir, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Works fine for me.
Excellent. Good.
For me. Have you heard about Face IQ? He's a proponent of yours.
No, I haven't.
What about Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
What test do you recommend to see if you have cardiovascular disease?
I would suggest that a person should do a combination of CAC and also a soft tissue assessment, probably an ultrasound style.
Can eggs be a staple or better to have them occasionally?
They can be, but should you do that? No, you should base your diet on the muscle meat of ruminant animals, about 80%.
Rude. I love eggs.
Yes, it's not rude, it's just a fact.
I eat loads of eggs.
Yes, you do.
Doesn't our stomach acid kill parasites and their eggs, especially if we don't neutralize stomach acid with plants and excess liquids?
Well, that's the plan, but it doesn't always work. Nothing's 100% effective.
You need
Except
to have,
me, I'm effective and safe.
You need to have a good immune system as well.
Yes.
So there are many little pieces that have to fall into place. Why would I continue to get cramps 9 months into carnivore? Just started electrolytes and the cramps have subsided some. I figured I would be able to get over it with just my food consumption by now.
Well, everyone's mileage is a bit different. How long's a bit of string? Depends on the exact makeup of your diet, all the degrees of freedom that play into it, etc. Yeah.
If he's so knowledgeable about light and putting on weight, why is he fat?
Exactly.
Can carnivore diet change your sexuality? I used to believe I'm gay before I went carnivore. Jesus. Yeah, it must be carnivore.
Indeed.
We have more egg supporters. Good.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with eggs. I didn't say eggs were bad. Okay.
How can I target a leaner figure on carnivore? I'm carnivore and muscular, but would like to become more cut over the showcase months.
Well, it really depends on how cut you want to be as to whether I would even suggest to you that it's a healthy or good idea to even attempt that. that sounds like a personal question based in the need to have a consultancy with me, which you can do at bit.ly/Bart-KAY, and we'll sort you out.
Are the nutritional benefits of grass-fed beef over grain-fed beef significant or overstated?
Yes. But overstated mostly, especially by people who are extremist loons, ill-educated buffoons about such things.
Buffoons.
Yes, there are differences. Are they meaningful? Again, your mileage will vary, but it's very unlikely that it would be a problem for most people to eat nothing but grain-fed, actually. It's still vastly better than any plant-based diet or fucking sugar diet or any of this other ridiculous cock-splattery that's going on at the moment.
For type 1 diabetes patients, can they maintain 20 to 50 gram long term?
Yes, under the right circumstances. Yay!
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
We love Canadian pesos.
Yes.
Good day, sir.
How is the farm going?
Well, slowly, but we're getting there. I'm all about the systems, getting things up and running that aren't up and running, that haven't been up and running since before we bought the property. Tim's all about keeping the animals happy, except the ones that we're killing to eat. They're probably not too happy about that, but
they were happy until then.
They had a great life. Did Brian, Krusty and Clowny?
No. Yeah, Krusty and Clowny.
Yeah,
you said it in the wrong order.
The wrong order. I'm sorry. I mentioned them in the wrong order of preference.
We got Clowny first. Okay.
Right.
Is it better to eat the whole egg or only egg yolk?
The whole egg. And nothing but the egg.
Fucking
so they say.
What is your opinion on C15 and fatty liver disease, MAFLD?
What is your question, please?
What is your opinion about it?
I don't have an opinion about some great wide area of whatever. I need specific questions, please, folks.
Specific ones.
Yes.
Why do you state that a carnivore diet isn't particularly ketogenic?
Because it isn't. That's why.
Can define particularly, please. I'm personally over 2 millimoles per liter for at least 12 hours of every day after one big bolus of lion. Okay,
well, over 4 is considered to be particularly ketogenic by most. So you're halfway. So it's not particularly, is it? There you go. Sake.
What's your most eaten type of meat? Burger patties here.
Steak.
Steak. It's like cutting steak.
Yes.
No fucking explanation. Steak.
Yeah.
Piece of meat.
Yes.
But did you try pasteurized dairy since drinking raw? Have you tried cow's milk raw? Any updates on that?
No on both of those questions, and no on the update therefore.
How to get rid of under-eye bags when diet and sleep is already fixed? Will grounding help?
Possibly, who knows? Try it and see. Fuck around and find out.
Could be a cortisol issue.
It could also be 1,000 other different things as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Could be. I drink a lot of coffee with cream. Will this stall results for optimum weight loss?
Potentially. Depends. Your mileage will vary.
Would it be reasonable to assume that after one has been on carnivore for over a year and physique has been stable, that this form is close to what one's genes had in mind for a healthy form?
Yes.
Yes. All right. That was it then.
Excellent. Good. Love it. Love it. All right.
Love it.
Join me and Purple Ted next week, where people will continue to be right on the interwebs, because everyone is, aren't they? Everyone's right about everything they have to say. Yeah. Everyone's very, very sensible.
Because internet self-censor.
And whatever I was going to say next. Anyway, you know what it is. We just need to sing the song, don't we?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which goes a little bit something like steak and eggs and steak and just fucking sugar. That's what you should have for breakfast, just fucking sugar. Eggs and steak and fucking sugar. Just making sure they heard. I think they got it, Ted. Very good. Join us next week. See you later.